Complaint after complaint. Complaint after complaint. What story do you think I brought for you today? Stay with me, because I'm about to read you an amazing story. Once upon a time, a teenage girl came home from school with tears in her eyes. She had failed her algebra test. And that wasn't all. Even worse, her best friend had decided not to talk to her anymore. Everything felt dark and hopeless to her. She walked into the kitchen where her mother was baking a cake. Her mother asked, "What's wrong, sweetheart? Why are you upset?" The girl said, "Mom, why does everything always go wrong for me? Why do only bad things happen to me?" Her mother looked at her calmly, smiled, and asked, "Sweetheart, do you like cake?" The girl, with tears in her eyes, said, "Of course, I love your baking." The mother took some baking oil and placed it in front of her. "Here, eat it." The girl stepped back and said, "Ew, that makes me sick." The mother picked up an egg. "How about this one? Do you like it?" The girl said, "No, it smells awful." The mother smiled and continued, "What about some flour?" The girl said, "Flour? That's dry and tasteless." The mother paused for a moment, then looked at her kindly and said, "Exactly. Each of these ingredients isn't tasty on its own. But when you mix them in the right amount, with patience, and bake them at the right temperature, what happens? That's right. They turn into a delicious cake." God does the same thing with our lives. Sometimes He gives us things that seem bitter or unpleasant. But when the time is right, they all come together to create something sweet. The girl calmed down and went silent. The sound of mixing the cake batter filled the quiet house. Her mother continued, "We usually complain when things go wrong. But only God knows why each event is necessary. Sometimes you have to taste today's bitterness to understand tomorrow's sweetness. Everything takes time, just like this cake." The girl smiled and said, "Mom, does that mean God is baking a delicious cake for me too?" Her mother laughed and said, "Yes, sweetheart. You just have to be patient until it's ready." A few minutes later, the smell of fresh cake filled the entire house. The girl took a deep breath and said, at that moment, she realized that nothing happens without a reason. Even on days when you feel like everything is against you, maybe it's just part of God's recipe for your growth. Remember, God is still mixing the ingredients of your life with care. And one day, when the time is right, the sweet aroma of that life cake will surprise you. So, my dear friends, instead of complaining, take gentler steps. Be patient and never lose your hope. Thank you for staying with me until the end. I love you all.